Here are 3 reasons people ghost based on psychology. It's easy to chalk it up and say, well, that person just didn't like you and there must be something wrong with you. But very rarely does it actually have to do with who you are as a person and more about where this person is in their life. So the first reason is a fear of confrontation. People that ghost cannot communicate effectively and openly. Confrontation causes them to feel completely dysregulated. So for them, it's, if I just remove myself, I feel safer. They're not thinking about anybody else in this position, which yes, it is very selfish to ghost. This avoidance can be stemmed from a fear of rejection and a low self-esteem that this person was never taught how to communicate effectively and their only way is leaving, especially if they watched a caregiver that would always walk out during adversity. There we go. Number 2, fear of vulnerability. I know, it sounds kind of strange, but you're getting closer with this person. You guys are having a nicer relationship. Wait, but what's going on? Why is this person ghosting? Because oftentimes vulnerability can be fucking terrifying to a lot of people. This person feels highly uncomfortable being vulnerable and expressing their feelings. So instead of risking rejection and maybe saying something that could hurt them or somebody else, they opt to just remove themselves because, again, to them it feels safer. And the third one, a truth that nobody wants to hear. They met somebody else that they were more interested in than you. No, I'm not saying it's okay to ghost, but we also need to be understanding of what ghosting is. Ghosting isn't that you had one date and this person just doesn't want to see you again. Ghosting is that you've been dating somebody consistently for a good amount of time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months. You've been really spending time with this person and abruptly out of nowhere, this person disappears. But you have to remember, ghosting says nothing about you and everything about the other person. They might not want to date you. That's fine. They're a human. They're allowed to say that. But their choice to not let you know about this and instead to remove themselves and ghost, again, doesn't say anything about you and says everything about their emotional maturity. Here's another bonus reason as well. Not everybody is as good as confrontation and as good as receiving rejection as they think they are. I have heard this a million times where somebody might end it with somebody and the person blows their phone up, doesn't understand, tries to protest. What did I do wrong? Why won't you give me a chance after one date? And some people feel highly overwhelmed and they don't want to deal with that. So they resort to, great, I'm just not going to say anything. If somebody goes to you, let the fucking dead rest. It's okay. You don't need to chase them. You don't need to ask them for a reason because that's not going to give you any kind of closure. You know that this person doesn't want anything with you. They have made that very clear with their actions. Then great, move along, put them behind you, and don't allow them to come back, even if they try to move back into the zombie category, which is a whole new thing now.
You don't want to be with them. This is someone who lacks communication skills, who literally is incapable of having uncomfortable and difficult conversations. And this is the kind of person who avoids. You will never be able to have a serious relationship with the kind of person who does this. So number 2, you should feel bad for them. They lack some pretty critical life skills. You think of it as though this person lost their pet or they got really sick or something. I really want to feel bad for them because they really are at a disadvantage. I know it is frustrating to be ghosted by someone and you may want to come at them, but that anger is only going to push them further away and validate their reason for why they ghosted you in the first place. You want to come at it with empathy. This is just an example of a text. A person has texted you, they are not interested in dating you. Just call it out. Don't make them say it. Second thing, you want to mention how you feel. Let this person know that what they did was not okay. And then the last piece, and this is the piece that's going to get you a response. You have to say, I'm sorry for assuming that they were a better person than they're actually showing themselves to be. Hey, I haven't heard from you in a few days and I'm getting the sense that you're not interested in me. Calling it out. Not gonna lie, I feel disrespected that you haven't responded to me, but I could tell someone like you was going through a lot. I thought you were in a place in your life of being mature, a good communicator, and being respectful. I'm sorry for making that assumption about you. Please don't feel the need to respond to this. Take care.
Top 5 reasons why men ghost women. You've probably been ghosted by a guy on a number of occasions and you're probably wondering, why the hell did this man ghost me? In order for you to be considered ghosted, I feel as if you need to have spent and given a certain level of time and emotional stress to a situation. So let's get into it. The top 5 reasons why men ghost women. Number 1, they probably just met someone that's better than you, or they just have other options that they're entertaining at the moment. And especially if you meet someone online dating, they have such an increased access to potential partners and create a sense of limitless options impacting dating and their behaviors. So if someone knows that they have a shit ton of options out there, especially if it's a good looking dude, if he goes on a date with you or if he's messaging whatever, and he stops replying, a lot of the times it's because he probably found a new toy. Number 2, and I'm sorry to say this, they probably ghosted you because you slept with them on the first date and now they're no longer interested. Men, from an evolutionary standpoint, are hunters, and they enjoy chasing, and they enjoy the fight to achieve something, and as shit as that sound, to achieve. But that's how it is. That is how animalistic the minds of men are. Number 3, fear of confrontation. In other words, he's a little bitch. And that's the thing. So many people, both men and women, have such a struggle with communicating, and they have challenges. So a lot of men will happily be a little bitch and not communicate that they're not into you, and they would find it so much easier just to pretend that it didn't happen and just shift you off into the abyss. So for a lot of men, when it comes to the ghosting aspect, they would rather bear potentially awkward conversation of telling you that they're not into you.
These are some signs that someone is about to ghost you. This may make some of you really sad, but it's all based on research, so like, don't shoot the messenger. Text and any type of messages are going to be coming in shorter and taking way longer to arrive. So maybe you'll get like a 2-word answer every 5-6 hours. You're going to feel like you're a bother to this person. So anytime you want to reach out or anytime you say something, you just feel like you're annoying them. You bring up future potential plans, dates, whatever, they will either be dismissive of it or just like have a really negative attitude towards it. You're going to find yourself making a lot of excuses for why they're acting a certain type of way. So if they haven't texted you all day, you're going to be like, oh, they're probably just really busy. No, they're about to ghost you.
You do when someone ghosts you or cuts you off for somebody else? Well, number one thing is this, is that it's going to let you know all the underlying issues you have, whether it's trust issues or attachment issues or fucking abandonment issues. It's going to let you know. Your second response is going to be to chase them, but that's only because your ego is hurt and you're looking for that validation. I'm going to give you guys some insight right now, some psychological insight. When you stop caring about people when they expected you to, it actually does what's happening to you to them. So they start feeling all those triggered emotions, right? Because they expected you to care about them, because it makes them feel like, damn, like I thought they really cared about me. Because when somebody leaves you, they think that they have the power over you, right? So what you need to be doing is simply letting go and moving on. I mean, if someone cuts you off and goes you for someone else, they clearly don't care about you. Me, I don't believe in second chances. You do me wrong, you're done. Especially when I come with good intentions. But to each his own. I hope this helped y'all. Yeah.
Here are reasons why a man will come back after ghosting you, all right? He'll come back into your life, reappear all of a sudden after ghosting you, all right, ladies? So pay attention to this now. Number 1 is because he still thinks that he got you as an option, right? He thinks that you ain't went nowhere. He thinks that you ain't going nowhere. So, and he's, kind of done going to his other options at the moment, and he gonna come back to you. You know what I mean? He think that you still available. So, hey, let me hit old girl up. I ain't talked to her in a minute. Number 2, all right? Number 2, it's simply because he bored, all right? It's simply because he is bored. He bored, he ain't got nothing else to do. You know what I mean? He just pretty much take you as a hobby at this point. And number three is because he wants some. He wants some of that poom poom. Let's be for real. He wants some of that poom poom, like, real bad. That's a big reason. That's probably the biggest reason why, a lot of times. So, hey, like and share part 2.